look, Israel is bombing and targeting hospitals. I mean, isn't that a war crime? I mean, what's up with Israel going after the hospitals in Gaza? To those watching this, please keep Eli in your prayers. He's going to be on the front lines here in a few months, and we'll have you on more to tell us about what's going on here. But let me get to some other questions. We also hear by the media in America that there's been around 35,000 civilians who have died in Gaza. And isn't that just a horrible number? Because, Hamas didn't kill that many Jews. So, yeah, what's up with this? Is that tell us about this approximate, this 35,000 Palestinians who have died.
Yeah, so you should remember that those numbers are controlled by Hamas. So he tells us how many civilians are dead, and he doesn't tell us how many Hamas terrorists are dead. So we should remember that. But basically, even if 35,000 civilians, if that's a correct number, we know that half of them, half of them are terrorists, okay? And that means that it's the lowest ratio of collateral damage in history of urban warfare. Think about the war in Afghanistan and Iraq. For every one terrorist, 9 civilians were killed. Okay,
by America.
So again, this shows that the IDF just does everything it can to prevent innocent death and make sure that civilians don't die, only terrorists, because that's why we're fighting. We're fighting to prevent those terrorists to attack us again. We don't have anything against the woman or against the baby or against the elderly. No, we're fighting against those Nazis, Hamas terrorists. Okay, so again, this number, you have to remember, half of them are terrorists, and we know it.
And should we even? I mean, I have a hard time. I mean, and our media doesn't even bat an eyelash at the numbers that Hamas gives them. But when you have people who are willing to do what they did to your people, to women and children, to babies, why should we trust them when they give us any numbers?
You want to those people who raped and beheaded babies? I mean, why would you want to listen to them? Right. I mean, for sure there are civilians who die, for sure, but don't be quick to just trust anything they say. Be very skeptical of what Hamas says.
Yeah,
very skeptical.
Amen to that. I'm skeptical. I mean, that's just good epistemology, right there. But I also hear, but look, Israel is bombing and targeting hospitals. I mean, isn't that a war crime? I mean, what's up with Israel going after the hospitals in Gaza?
Yeah. So, according to international law, if hospitals are used as terror base, they lose their legitimacy. It's not a hospital anymore. Okay. So it just loses its protected status. Yeah. And we know that hospitals are used as terror base. Why? Because our soldiers are killed there fighting the terrorists. Many soldiers died in hospitals fighting Hamas terrorists. And that shows that Hamas even uses hospitals as terror bases. So Israel's fighting in hospitals in Gaza doesn't negate international law. It's actually according to international law. Okay, we're justified doing that.
Why do you think the entire world freaks out over a little strip of land that's smaller than New Jersey, a small state in America? Why does the entire world freak out over this little strip of land that most people would say is in the middle of nowhere, but it seems to be the epicenter of everything? What's up with that?
That's a 1 million question. I have no idea. It's a mystery. It's a great question. I cannot answer that. I have no idea. I have no idea why.
I've thought about that a lot because it doesn't make sense. Just doesn't make sense. And why the entire world holds Israel to such a crazy high standard that they don't hold anybody else to. If anybody else was attacked like that by terrorists, it seems like the rest of the world would say, get them all, kill all the terrorists, make sure that never happens again. We're on your side. But it happens to Israel, and all of a sudden the entire world's like, okay, guys, you're held to a higher standard than everybody else. And you guys are like, all right, we'll play by those rules and we're going to win anyway. But how many soldiers have you guys sacrificed because you're willing to play by those rules? Where, as you said it, on October 7th, that night, Israel could have been like, all right, here's your genocide, and leveled the place. But you didn't. You took a lot of time, which was actually detrimental, probably, to you as far as world support goes, because you might have had more support just going in that next day, but you didn't. Why?
Because they were preparing. They were also preparing for us.
Yeah, they were preparing for you, and you wanted to be careful. You didn't want collateral damage, and you tried to be tactical about it. Yeah.
I meant Hamas was preparing. So 3 weeks before we started invading Gaza and fighting them, they had the time to prepare for us. So it's if we wanted to do just everything quickly, we would do it. If we wanted to kill everyone, we would just do it in a couple of minutes. But we took the time, okay, to notify Gazan civilians, hey, you need to move, take your stuff and go away. It's a warfare, it's a terror base. And I'll tell you something. Every home the IDF enters, every home has ammunition, has rockets. It's crazy. Think about it. Every home, almost every home in Gaza is used as a terror base.
Now, is that just Palestinian civilians in general?
I mean, in Gaza, in Gaza, basically, in this war, the IDF found in every house ammunition.
We're not talking about just those who are in Hamas.
Oh, no. We're talking about civilians that Hamas is so embedded within the civilian population that you just find it everywhere, in schools, in hospitals, in mosques, everywhere. So whenever you hear in the news, the IDF just bombed the mosque, the IDF just bombed the hospital or a school, you need to ask why. Why did it happen? Maybe there is a reason for that. Maybe, just maybe.
Well, a week or two ago, I put a video on Facebook of this 19-year-old Jewish girl who was kidnapped. I don't know if she's still alive, but she was obviously sexually assaulted brutally. She had gray sweatpants on, it looked like, and you could just see blood all over below the waist, to put it bluntly. And then you could see that her Achilles tendons had been cut so that she couldn't run.
That's a soldier. Yeah, that's a soldier.
That was a soldier?
It was a soldier they took, yeah. If you saw, if you've seen recently, there was a video posted of Hamas terrorists taking soldiers, female soldiers. So that's one of them.
It just, it breaks my heart and makes my blood boil. I want to go join the IDF when I see that. But what really got my attention is they took her out of the back of this Jeep, and you have all these Palestinian citizens there cheering and praising Allah for that. That's not just Hamas. It is the culture there. Like we said, they've been brainwashed. They've been indoctrinated into this. But that is what we're dealing with, what you're dealing with right now. And it does need denazified. And that's going to take a lot of work. after you guys wipe out the current threat in Hamas, then changing the minds, which it's so hard to even get somebody who's indoctrinated to even question the fact that they were indoctrinated. So that might be the biggest problem. What do you think?
I will also add that in the third wave of the invasion to Israel on the 7th of October, these were civilians entering houses and raping women and killing, beheading. So civilians were involved in the attack. It's not just the Hamas, official terrorists. It's
Mhm.
also the civilians, many of them who participated and, as you said, were cheering and glad for that attack.
Yeah.